Yes. All right, so back into our session. Our first talk is going to be by PCC Calas on the investigation of material from Reiner and Cavallarius lunar craters in the Reiner Gamma swirl. So PCC, take it away.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is PCC Calas. As you may note from my accent, I come from France, but I am a master's student at the University of Sherbrooke in geomatics, under the supervision of Professor Mariam Lemelin. Next, please. The title of my presentation is Investigation of Material from Reiner and Cavallarius craters in the Reiner Gamma lunar swirl region. But to put it in simple terms, this is phase one of a study of geomorphology impact cratering, both craters and their materials occurring on the surface of the moon. My objective is to introduce you to what has been done so far in this investigation and how I propose to delve even more precisely to this phenomenon. Next, please. Lunar swirls are essentially like winding shape without topographic correlation. Their main hypothesis for explaining Wood and Schuber suggest that solar wind shielding inhibits the normal space weathering of the surface, therefore creating these patterns. Reiner Gamma and its magnetic anomaly may represent macroscopic evidence for a superficial darkening process. Schultz and Sianka propose that there was a cometary meteorite impact which removed darker, mature surface soils and exposed brighter, less mature material from underneath and destroyed the porous ferric-cathode structure. And Garrick Bethel speculates that electromagnetic fields alter the behavior of levitated charged dust, leading to the accumulation of high reflectance dust in the swirls. Next, please. Wood and associates propose that the Reiner Gamma lunar swirls are formed by unusual deposit of ejecta from nearby crater created by a large impact, probably Cavallarius. They identified 4 lines which bisect the V-shaped pattern present in the Reiner Gamma that converge at Cavallarius. More recently, Fortezo and al. Have mapped lineaments originating from Reiner and Cavallarius intersecting Reiner Gamma. I decided to add Reiner crater to the study. Next, please. Give you a better appreciation of the scope of the mapping. Here is an area view of the main topographical and albedo structures that occur in the Reiner Gamma region. Note the age of Cavallarius and Reiner crater, which are the same or younger than the main geological units where the different lineaments are present. Considering that the blue outline in this picture depicts solidified magma regions, any change would have been structurally embedded after solidification. Next, please. In order to conduct proper mapping, as you know, one needs to identify the estimated point of initiation of what would be considered a point of impact and therefore the trajectory of the ejecta. I used MorphoPI, the tool Leo was talking about this morning, to identify the ring crest and barycenter of Reiner and Cavallarius craters. I identify the continuous ejecta blanket by adding 1 radius after each highest point, then point interpolation. Next, please. Due to the morphology of the materials of craters, one must consider the continuous ejecta and the discontinuous ejecta. To delimitate the discontinuous ejecta started after the continuous ejecta, I use the combination of photo interpretation, manual detection, and GIS processing. Next, please. The procedural steps for mapping requires due to diligence in calculating. Make this simple for you to explain. In input data, it's SLGEM 2015. Step 1, better visually, help me to better visually contrast than them, digital elevation model. Step 2, best view for interpret visually the linear hilly features. Step 3, 0 represent black color, represent flat surface, and 1 represent white color, represent hilly surface. Step 4, allow to smooth the contours and eliminate small cluster of pixels. Next, please. Analyzing the collected data, my preliminary results suggest this mapping of Cavalarius and Renal cutters and their materials. An overview of the discontinuous ejecta in 4 boxes bound together. We can see in box right down a well superposition in comparison with other box image. It's a great overview of delimitation for the next steps. Next, please. In studying the delimitation of the discontinuous ejecta, some observations come to mind. D-shaped topographic features and/or lineaments may have been overlooked. Large craters were masked before processing, but small craters were retained. The discontinuous ejecta layers are made of primary craters not related to Cavalarius and Rayner. When applying the grayscale morphological feature, certain group of pixels are retained, even though they do not visually correspond to a topographic feature such as lineament or a V-shape. Next, please. A further study, I plan on analyzing the similarities between the material found at the Rayner Gamma and at Cavalarius and Rayner craters. In doing so, I hope to identify fresh craters located on the continuous ejecta of the Cavalarius and Rayner Gamma region. And using a high-path spectral and multispectral dataset, compare their respective signatures to determine whether there are any similarities. Next, please. Okay, thank you for your attention, and I may now answer your questions.
Question?
I noticed there was stuff going on in the chat.
I think it was mostly about being able to see the slides, which got taken care of.
Okay. So, any question? Oh, a question.
Hi, good job. I have a quick question on the processing. You mentioned how the grayscale can have limitations. Do you have any ideas on how to maybe remedy that?
Sorry, you can repeat, please.
Yeah. So you mentioned that the grayscale can have some limitations. Do you know of any, do you have any ideas on how to get around that problem?
Problem? You speak about problem?
With the grayscale.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I don't have any ideas. I'm just curious.
In general, you help me to identify and extract the lineaments with a nice contrast, but it's not. I don't have. I don't want eliminate absolutely all around the lineaments. It's like a contrast.
Yeah.
Still have a few more minutes for questions, if there are any. I still do not see any online.
I have one. Maybe I missed it. So are you trying to use the ejecta patterns to understand the formation of the Rainier Gamma? Is that of the swirl?
The objective is to identify I understand well the question. If at the surface of the soil exists a material come from this crater, and for that I need to analyze the environment of the craters, and after that identify for sampling different parts, like a continuous ejector, like mapping, general mapping.
Okay.
For an idea of the area.
Any more questions or suggestions? Is this a good progress?